Hello and welcome to Random Draw, a trip through the vinyl archives of WTBR-FM. When WTBR moved to the new facilities here at Pittsfield Community Television, it brought along with it a tremendous asset, its vinyl collection, numbering nearly 20,000 pieces including full albums, EPs, singles, and so much more. The purpose of this program is to take you back in time to the early days of WTBR when these records were new. I'm your host, David Cachet, and over the last couple of years, I've acted as sort of an archivist of this great collection. Imagine, if you will, a wall full of records sorted into sort of cubby holes with about 150 records in each section. I'll be choosing one of these little sections to grab records from. I'm just going to randomly select records off the wall of our studios and play them for you. That's right, I'm playing the actual vinyl records that have been in the WTB archives for over 40 years. Tonight we go back to the year 1972. 1972, the year that Bobby Fischer beat Boris Spassky to become the world chess champion. The year of the tragedy of the Munich Olympic Games. Pong was released by Atari, and HBO was launched. The French Connection won a lot of Academy Awards, including Best Actor, Director, and Best Picture. And Carole King won Album, Song, and Record of the Year at the Grammy Awards, and All in the Family was the top-rated show on television. The songs I'll be playing tonight were all released in that year and have nothing more in common than they happen to be near each other in our archive. The first track we're going to hear tonight is by the Prairie League. This song was released in 1972, but it wouldn't become a hit until 1975 when the band wasn't really together anymore. After releasing their second album, Bustin' Out, in 1972, and releasing the single Amy, lead singer Craig Fuller was tried and convicted for draft evasion and sentenced to 6 months in jail. This led to their label RCA to drop the band from their ranks. Not until 1975 did the single Amy become popular, causing RCA to re-sign them back to their label without lead singer and co-founder Craig Fuller. In 1978, they did add future country superstar Vince Gill to their band. So here's Amy by the Prairie League here on Random Draw on WTBR-FM.
I can see why you think you belong to me. I never tried to make you think or let you see one thing for yourself. But now you're off with someone else and I'm alone. You see, I thought that I might keep you for my own. Amy, what you wanna do? I think I could stay with you for a while, maybe longer if I do. Don't you think the time is right for us to find all the things we thought weren't proper could be right in time? And can you see which way we should turn, together or alone? I can never see what's right and what is wrong. Did it take too long to see? Amy, what you wanna do? I think I could stay with you for a while, maybe longer if I do. you once you've had your way. And all the things you thought before just faded in the gray. Can you see that I don't know if it's you or if it's me? If it's one of us, I'm sure we both will see. Won't you look at me and tell me, Amy, what you wanna do? I think I could stay with you for a while, maybe longer if I do, yeah. Now, Amy, what you wanna do? I think I could stay with you for a while, maybe longer if I do. I'd keep falling in and out of love with you, falling in and out of love with you. Don't know what I'm gonna do. I keep falling in and out of love with you.
Everybody's gone away. I believe this time they're gonna stay. There's not a soul I know around. Everybody's leaving town. Some caught a freight, some caught a plane. Find the sunshine, leave the rain. They said this town will waste your time. I guess they're right, it's wasting mine. Some gotta win, some gotta lose. Good time Charlie's got the blues. My heart keeps telling me you're not a kid at 33. You play around, you lose your wife. You play too long, you lose your life. I got my pills to ease the pain. Can't find a thing to ease the rain. I'd love to try and settle down, but everybody's leaving town. Some gotta win, some gotta lose. Good time Charlie's got the blues.
All right, that was Danny O'Keefe with Good Time Charlie's Got the Blues. Before that, we heard Pure Prairie League with Amy. One last little note on that Pure Prairie League. If you ever look at their albums, they all have the same caricature. It's a local connection here to the Berkshires. It's Norman Rockwell character of a cowboy drawing that he put, and they put it on every cover of every album that they ever had, basically. So keep a lookout for that if you see some Prairie League covers. Danny O'Keefe, back to him and with the song we just heard, Good Time Charlie's Got the Blues. He's a singer-songwriter from the Spokane, Washington area who was releasing his third album titled O'Keefe in 1972 on the Atlantic record label. This album was produced by super producer Arif Martin, who worked with a multitude of artists and won many, many Grammy Awards. He is credited with discovering Barry Gibb's falsetto voice while recording with the Bee Gees in the 70s, so that's kind of a cool little thing. Anyways, this album, Danny O'Keefe had his biggest hit with the song you just heard, which hit number 9 on the charts and sold over 1 million copies. That was Good Time Charlie's Got the Blues. Danny O'Keefe is still out there making music and playing shows, especially in the Seattle area. So obviously, if you're in that area, you're probably not listening to me right now, but if you're out in that area, you can certainly check him out still. Up next here, we're going to go to the jazz artist Mose Allison. Mose was a jazz blues pianist and a singer from Mississippi who proved to be very influential not only jazz musicians but rock artists of the 60s. Artists like John Mayall, Bruce, Bonnie Raitt, Van Morrison, and Leon Russell have covered his songs. Most famously, to me at least, The Who made his song Young Man Blues a concert staple for many, many years, and it's one of the highlights on the Live at Leeds album. So here we're going to listen to a track from his live album. The album is called Mose in Your Ear, recorded for the Atlantic label. Here's a song, Look at What You Made Me Do, right here on Random Draw, here on WTBR-FM.
I was getting along just fine. I was satisfied towing the line. Then you dropped in right out of the blue. Now look what you made me do. I was getting my business straight. I was keeping a real clean slate. You stepped right up and said a thing or two. Now look what you made me do. I was leaving the scene behind. I was working on peace of mind. You strolled right down my avenue. Now look what you made me do. Look what you made me do.
Oh man, that was Eddie Harris with Instant Death on the Atlantic record label. Before that, we heard Mose Allison with Look at What You Made Me Do. Eddie Harris, he's one of the favorite things I've found so far in the WTBR archive. We have most of his early 70s catalog here at WTBR, and it's all just incredible stuff to listen to. The only thing I knew about Eddie Harris when I was growing up was that opening line from Beastie Boys, So What You Want, when they say, so plug me in like I was Eddie Harris. Now, the reason why they say that is Eddie Harris popularized the electric saxophone. And, being a saxophone player from Chicago, he tried a lot of stuff, especially in the early 70s. He was experimenting with a lot of funk stuff. And he came up with some of his new instruments. He had a reed trumpet, which was a trumpet with a saxophone mouthpiece. He had a saxophone, which was a saxophone with a trombone mouthpiece. And he had an instrument called the guitorgan, which was a combination of a guitar and an organ. So these were all great instruments that Eddie Harris was playing around with, during the 70s, coming out all this funk stuff on the Atlantic record label, and just incredible stuff. So again, if you have a chance to find some Eddie Harris out there to listen to, I highly recommend you find his catalog, especially the stuff in the 70s. He had some big hits early in the 60s, a song like Exodus, and he actually had a big album called Swiss Movement in 1969, which was very good, got nominated for a Best Jazz Performance Grammy that year, as a matter of fact. So again, Eddie Harris, check him out. Up next, we're going to go a little bit more local. We're going to hear from Arlo Guthrie, who's, of course, one of the Berkshire's most famous residents and musicians. His track, Alice's Restaurant, introduced the Berkshires and Stockbridge in particular to most of the world. We're going to hear Arlo's biggest hit right now. We're going to hear City of New Orleans from his album Hobo's Lullaby, which appeared on Reprise Records. This song was actually written by Steve Goodman, and it hit number 18 on the Billboard Hot 100 charts for Arlo and was number 45 overall for the whole year of 1972. So again, here's City of New Orleans by Arlo Guthrie right here on Random Draw on WTBR-FM.
Riding on the city of New Orleans, Illinois Central, Monday morning rail. 15 cars and 15 restless riders, 3 conductors, 25 sacks of mail. All along the southbound Odyssey, the train pulls out at Kankakee and rolls along past houses, farms, and fields, passing trains that have no name, freight yards full of old black men, and the graveyards of the rusted automobiles. Good morning, America, how are you? Said, don't you know me? I'm your native son. I'm the train they call the City of New Orleans. I'll be gone 500 miles when the day is done. Dealing card games with the old man in a club car. Penny a point, ain't no one keeping score. Pass the paper bag that holds the bottle, feel the wheels rumbling neath the floor. And the sons of Pullman porters and the sons of engineers ride their fathers' magic carpets made of steel. And mothers with their babes asleep rocking to the gentle beat, and the rhythm of the rails is all they feel. Good morning, America, how are you? Said, don't you know me? I'm your native son. I'm the train they call the City of New Orleans. I'll be gone 500 miles when the day is done. Nighttime on the City of New Orleans, changing cars in Memphis, Tennessee. Halfway home, and we'll be there by morning. Through the Mississippi darkness, rolling down to the sea. But all the towns and people seem to fade into a bad dream, and the steel rail still ain't heard the news. The conductor sings sings his songs again. The passengers will please refrain. This train got to disappear in railroad blues. Good night, America, how are you? Say, don't you know me? I'm your native son. I'm the train they call the city of New Orleans. I'll be gone 500 miles when the day is done.
Crossing the highway late last night, he should've looked left and he should've looked right. He didn't see the station wagon car. The skunk got squashed and there you are. You got your dead skunk in the middle of the road. Dead skunk in the middle of the road. Dead skunk in the middle of the road. Stinking to high heaven. Take a whiff on me, that ain't no rose. Roll up your window and hold your nose. You don't have to look and you don't have to see, 'cause you can feel it in your olfactory. You got your dead skunk in the middle of the road. Dead skunk in the middle of the road. Dead skunk in the middle of the road, and it's stinking to high heaven. Yeah, you got your dead cat and you got your dead dog. On a moonlight night, you got your dead toad frog. Got your dead rabbit and your dead raccoon. The blood and the guts, they're gonna make you swoon. You got your dead skunk in the middle. Dead skunk in the middle of the road. Dead skunk in the middle of the road. Stinking to high heaven. Come on, stink. You got it, it's dead. It's in the middle. Dead skunk in the middle. Dead skunk in the middle of the road. Stinking to high heaven. All over the road. Technicolor. Oh, you got pollution. It's dead. It's in the middle. And it's stinging to high heaven.
That was Loudon Wainwright III with Dead Skunk. Before that was Arlo Guthrie with the City of New Orleans. Now, Loudon Wainwright is a folk singer, songwriter, and sometime actor who hails from North Carolina. In 1972, he recorded his third album, titled, appropriately enough, Album 3. So, Loudon Wainwright III, Album the Third, basically. Dead Skunk became his only charting single of his career and reached number 16 on the Hot 100. I said earlier that Loudon was a sometime actor, and he has appeared in a lot of Judd Apatow's work lately. Starting with the show Undeclared on Fox, he also appeared in the movies Knocked Up and 40-Year-Old Virgin, so check him out in those movies you can. Nowadays, he might be more famous for being the father of musicians Rufus and Martha Wainwright, and they are obviously have their own alternative music careers of their own. We're going to take a short break here on Random Draw. I'll be right back in just a few moments to hear some more random music right here on WTBR.
There is one final message for you to transmit to Earth. It is the most important message you have ever sent. I want you to keep repeating it as many times as possible.
89.7 WTBR-FM, Pittsfield.
Goodwill Industries of the Berkshires and Southern Vermont runs comprehensive, nationally certified retail or custodial training programs that include soft skills certification, job readiness skills coaching, suit yourself, and certification award ceremony. Looking for a job? Looking for training to get a job? Goodwill can help. You can contact Goodwill at 413-442-0061 or go to our website at www.goodwill-berkshires.com.
The competition has taken notice.
Oh my God.
Good luck keeping up with us. Amateurs. 89.7 WTBR.
And we're back here on Random Draw on WTBR. Again, if you're just joining us, Random Draw, the entire purpose of this show is we're going back into the archives here, the vinyl archives of WTBR, pulling records off the shelves and playing them for you. So far, we've been going into the year 1972 in this episode, and we've listened to some jazz music, some rock music and stuff. We're going to get right back into the world of rock and roll with the group 10 Years After. Now, 10 Years After was a British blues rock band fronted by Elvin Lee. They were made famous for the most of the world by appearing at Woodstock and featured in the great documentary performing their song I'm Going Home. In 1972, they released their 7th studio album called Rock and Roll Music to the World on Columbia Records. The album reached number 43 in the USA and climbed a little higher at home, reaching 27 in the UK. We're going to hear a track off this album called Choo Choo Mama right here on Random Draw.
Baby,
off the road and started building my house up, feeling the pressures of not enough time. Got me some rocks and constructed the fireplace. With the matches, the heat will be mine. Every wind's bringing a change in the movies. Never catch up and I'm falling behind. Then there's all mine, I must edit together. Too many reels and there's not enough time. Hours go and days go, and I'm moving on.
That was John Mayall with Moving On, and before that we heard 10 Years After with Choo Choo Mama. John Mayall, of course, fronted one of the most important and influential blues bands ever, the Blues Breakers. That band first became really famous in 1966 with the release of the album The Blues Breakers with Eric Clapton. That album, of course, featured Eric Clapton, but it also had John McVie on bass, and he would later go on to form Fleetwood Mac. Other musicians who played in the Blues Breakers in later years included Keith Hartley, Alan Price, Jack Bruce, Mick Taylor, and Peter Green, who spent some time in Fleetwood Mac also. The song we heard, Movin' On, was the title track from a live album that John Mayall released in 1972. It was recorded at the Whiskey A Go-Go in July of that year and released a few months later on the Polydor label. Once again, that was John Mayall with Moving On. We're going to get back in the instrumental world here. We're going to hear from Dennis Coffey. Now, Dennis was the guitarist from the Upper Peninsula area of Michigan, the Diupers, who would gain fame as the guitarist for the Motown record label. He was one of the Funk Brothers that played on dozens of Motown hits, including Ball of Confusion, War, Someday We'll Be Together, and Band of Gold. Dennis Coffey was also the first white musician to play on Soul Train, where he performed his hit instrumental song Scorpio. That song, Scorpio, hit number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100. Now, in 1972, Dennis Coffey and his Detroit guitar band released their album Electric Coffee, and we're going to listen to the single Son of Scorpio right here on Random Draw.
No need
All right, that was Delaney and Bonnie with Where There's a Will, There's a Way. And before that, we heard Dennis Coffey with Son of Scorpio. The Delaney and Bonnie were a husband and wife duo in the early 70s, had a band together who basically were a who's who of artists from the early 70s. On that particular track alone, we heard Eric Clapton on guitar, Dave Mason on guitar, Carl Radle on bass, Jim Gordon on drums, Bobby Whitlock on the organ, Bobby Keys on the saxophone, and Rita Coolidge on background vocals. Most of those musicians would later go on to form the Mad Dogs and Englishmen tour with Joe Cocker, and also perform with and become Derek and the Dominoes later on with Eric Clapton. So just tremendous musicianship all around. We're getting near the end of the show. We're going to play a song. One of the last songs here we're going to play is from one of my favorite bands, Chicago. 1972, they released their fifth album, Chicago 5. As you know, they just number their albums as they come out, so this is their fifth album. The album reached number 1 on the Billboard 200 and featured 2 hit singles. Here's one of those songs right now. We're going to listen to Dialogue, Part 1 and 2.
Optimistic about the way that things are going. No, I never ever think of it at all. Don't you ever worry when you see what's going down. Well, I try to mind my business, that is no business at all. When it's time to function as a feeling human being, with your bachelor of arts help you get by. Study further, a few more
All right, that was Dialogue Parts 1 and 2 from Chicago 5, from the group Chicago, obviously. Well, that about wraps it up here for us at Random Draw in our trip through 1972. If you'd like to get a look at our archives for yourself, just come on by and call the station at 445-4234. Ask for Dave. We'd love to have you come by and see for yourself. If you'd like to learn more about WTBR or even have an idea for your own show, visit our website at WTBR-FM.com. Until next time on Random Draw, I've been your host, David Cachet. We'll see you later.